Let's start with them. Keep in mind, we charge the American people a premium for this, right? We take in record levels of revenue and spend 30% more money than we take in, 30% more than we take in every year. How do we do with providing these basic foundational responsibilities of government? You will all remember this scene from last decade.
On August 1st, 2007, hundreds of vehicles tried crossing the I-35 bridge in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and disaster struck. The I-35 bridge collapsed, 13 people were killed, 145 were injured, and traffic was obstructed for over a year. It didn't have to happen. Years before, inspectors had rated the bridge structurally deficient, but they were ignored.
Terrific. We knew the bridge was bad, we had it on a list, and we didn't do anything about it. For 17 years, people drove across that bridge that folks knew was bad, yet we didn't make it a priority to actually do something about it. Today, one of the folks in the audience was telling me they drive across, or take the train across, the Portal Bridge in New Jersey. How many of you know of the Portal Bridge in New Jersey? One of the biggest used bridges in the country. 450 trains every day go across the Portal Bridge. Every single day, 180,000 people use the Portal Bridge to get into New York City. The Portal Bridge is 105 years old. It's just a question of what day we're going to wake up and see it on the news. It's just a question of what day is it going to be. And we continue business as usual with these core responsibilities. Public safety, a core responsibility. Remember, we take in record levels of revenue, spend 30% more than we actually take in. Core responsibility of the government is to provide safe borders. We literally invited the bad guys in through the front door. They came through security. We literally opened the door and invited them into the house to kill people that live in our home. We spend 30% more money than we take in to miss these basic foundational responsibilities of government. Safe food and water. For nearly 50 years, the people in Flint bought water from a safe supply of water. Do you know why they changed? Because they couldn't afford to buy clean water anymore. We listen to people out of Washington, they want to blame it on Rick Snyder. The reality is they couldn't afford to buy clean water anymore. A third of every dollar they took into Flint went to pay for the past, to pay for retirees' pensions and to pay for retirees' health care. They literally could not afford to buy clean water for people anymore. Greatest threat to our national security? Admiral Mike Mullen says the greatest threat to our national security is not Iran, not Al-Qaeda, not ISIS, not air conditioning, John Kerry. It's national debt. It's the fact that we have overspent our ability to provide that core function of making sure that government is safe. I would argue that the first American Revolution was about taxation without representation. But what we see taking place today is taxation without performance. We charge people record levels of revenue and don't produce corresponding performance. And I think what you're seeing playing out this year is people are weary of being charged Ritz-Carlton level taxes and getting a Bates Motel quality government. If you're going to charge me this much in revenue and spend 30% more than that, and you can't even make my bridges safe, make it safe for my kids to get to school, ensure basic safety in the streets and the water, what am I funding? It's the reason that people have made such a big change, and the good fortune that we have is because of these challenges to get this right, we are debating the big issues of our time. Seriously, we bus millions of school children knowingly across bridges we know aren't safe, and this is what we debate. We've signed a contract with these folks who give the ultimate sacrifice in some cases and certainly put their lives in jeopardy. literally the same week that we learned that 40 of our veterans died waiting for health care in Phoenix, the same week, 50 United States senators signed a letter demanding the Washington Redskins change their name. Now, you might argue that our friends in the U.S. Senate have the ability to walk and chew gum at the same time. I would say ask the widows of those men who passed away waiting for health care if they have the ability to walk and chew gum at the same time. This inability to stay focused on the core responsibilities of government